So students, the next topology that we are going to discuss is your metropolitan area network, or in short we call it as a MAN. Okay, so what exactly is MAN? So metropolitan area network is a high speed network that spreads over a large geographical area such as metro cities or towns. Okay, that is one advantage. Like, metropolitan area network is a high speed network that spreads over a large geographical area such as metro cities or towns. It is set up by connecting the local area networks using routers and telephone exchange lines. So you can say that MAN is the combination or collection of local area networks. So small local area networks, when clubbed together, we form a metropolitan area network. Getting my point? Okay, so it can be operated by a private company, or it may be a service provided by a company such as any local telecom company. Okay, it can be any local telecom company. Okay, that is one thing. So MAN is ideal for the people of a relatively large area who want to share or the data or information. Okay, it provides faster communication via high speed carriers or transmission media such as copper cable, fiber optics and microwaves. The commonly used protocols for metropolitan area network are X.25 frame relay, asynchronous transfer mode, that is what we call it as ATM, XDSL, that is your digital subscriber line, ISDN, that is your integrated service digital network, and then you have your ADSL, that is your asymmetrical digital subscriber line, and so on. So basically students, if you see, as this metropolitan area network is spread over the large geographical area such as metro cities or towns. Okay, so if I want to communicate from Karnataka to Goa, okay, or outside Karnataka or within Karnataka, then there will be small lands contributing to my communication. Okay, so I am a part of a network. I am in a college. Okay, I am using my computer. And then you are the people who are sitting at different location within the Karnataka or outside Karnataka. Okay, and through this we all are able to communicate with each other. Now you are also a part of a LAN which is local to your area. Now we have 31 students who have connected today for this particular class. So all 31 students are a part of different LANs, including me, and all of us are connected to each other. And such small networks, when they connect, they cover a huge area, they cover a large geographical area. And when such large geographical areas are covered, okay, within the given range, then we call it as a metropolitan area network. Okay, so that's what we say that it is set up by connecting local area networks using routers, local telephone exchange lines. Now how do we get the internet? How do I get an internet? The internet to my computer is coming through a telephone exchange line. We have a BSNL provider who is providing the internet service. If you are using your mobile phones, okay, then who is the internet provider for you, Jio or Airtel or BSNL or any other company, telephone company through which you are trying to use the services, are going to be your service provider, so that you are able to communicate with each other. So the service provider company may be your local telephone company that you might be using, or any private company that is providing their respective services. Okay, so we have the routers, we have their routers through which the communication is happening. So when small local area networks are getting connected together, they are covering a huge area. One local area network is covering a certain area, which may range up to from certain meters to few kilometers. Okay, few kilometers. Now these areas go on increasing as we start connecting small lands together, and we call it as a metropolitan area network. As I told you, I am a part of a network which is a local area network. I am in a college, I am sitting in my lab, and then it's a part of a LAN. You are sitting at your premises. Okay, your location is spread all over Karnataka and outside Karnataka, but still we all are able to connect to each other. This is just because of the format that we are using, and that is called as your metropolitan area network. And there are various protocols this metropolitan area network uses in order to establish the communication. One of them are your X.25 frame relay, asynchronous transfer mode, XDSL, ISDN, ADSL, and so on. So the area covered by metropolitan area is larger than your local area network, but smaller than your wide area network. It ranges from 5 to 50 kilometers. Okay, or it may be more also. Furthermore, it also provides uplinks for connecting local area networks to wide area networks and the internet. An organization can use a metropolitan area network to connect all of its local area networks located at different offices across the city. I may be having my office not only in Belgaum, I may be having office in different cities. So sitting at one place, I can get the details and all the necessary information of my various branches located in and around the city. So metropolitan area network is one of the best suitable network if your offices or your organization is spread with few kilometers. Okay, so examples of your metropolitan area network is your cable TV network. Now you might have used a local cable TV provider. They cover up to few kilometers, providing all the cable services through a cable wires. Then the next example of your metropolitan area network is your telephone service provider that provides high speed DSL lines. As I told you, BSNL is one of the example of your telephone service provider. There might be other service providers like your Airtel, or you might be having your Vodafone or Idea, or you might be having your Jio. So these are some of the telephone service provider through which you can access and get connected. So connected fire stations in the city, okay, which are widespread, connecting to all the branches of schools in that particular city. So these are few of the examples that we come across a metropolitan area network. What are the advantages of your metropolitan area network? So advantages of your metropolitan area network are: one is less expensive. It is less expensive to set up a metropolitan area network and to connect to a wide area network. Another advantage of your metropolitan area network is high speed. The speed of data transfer is more than your wide area network. Okay, because of the distance covered. That is one of the major advantage what your metropolitan area network has. The third one what you have is your local emails. It can send local emails very fast. Okay, access to the internet, it allows you to share your internet connection, and thus multiple users can have access to high speed internet. That is one advantage what you have is your metropolitan area network. And the next advantage what you have is your easy to set up. You can easily set up a metropolitan area network by connecting multiple LANs. Okay, and then we have your high security. It is more secure than your wide area network. So these are few of the advantages of your metropolitan area network. Fine. Now moving on to the next network is your wide area network. Is your wide area network, or we call it as a WAN. Okay. Now here you can see how the WAN is set up. Okay, wide area network. So what exactly is WAN? So wide area network extends over a large geographical area. It is not confined with an office, school, city or town, and is mainly set up by telephone lines or fiber optic cables or satellite links. Okay, so you can connect one country to another country. Okay, one country to another country. That is what it is. So it is mostly used by big organizations like banks, multinational companies to communicate with their branches and customer across the world. That is what it is. It can be used to communicate with all the people across the world, and that is how internet is functioning. Although it is structurally similar to your metropolitan area network, it is different from MAN in terms of its range. MAN may cover up to 50 or more than 50 kilometers, whereas wide area network covers distance larger than 50 to 1000 or more than that. Okay, more than that. That is what the advantage what we have is with the wide area network. It covers the entire geographical area. A person sitting in US, a person sitting in Australia, a person sitting in England, a person sitting in any part of the world can communicate with you where you are sitting in India. Okay, and that is what the power of wide area network is. Okay, so a wide area network works using a protocol called as TCP/IP. Okay, what is this TCP/IP stands for? TCP/IP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. T stands for transmission, C stands for control, stands for protocol, and the other one is your internet protocol. I stands for internet and P stands for your protocol. So TCP stands for your transmission control protocol or your internet protocol. Okay, these are the protocols which we use in order to establish the communication and in order to exchange the information among the computers that are trying to connect to each other over a network. Okay, so the networking devices such as your switches, routers, firewalls and modems follow this TCP/IP protocol. As I told you, switches and routers, these are the devices which are basically used to transfer the information, route the information from one computer to another computer that are trying to communicate. Okay, it will make a path for a particular device to communicate. Suppose you have a computer. If you are here and if there is one person sitting in this particular building who is trying to communicate with you, if you are in one country and somebody else is in another country, so these are the communicating devices. These are the routers, these are the switches. Okay, which are as I told you, even a satellite link. See here, even a satellite link, because when we cover a large geographical area beyond 1,000 kilometers, okay, then satellite is the medium of communication. We use the satellite links to get connected to each other, okay. And these intermediate devices that we have here, okay, these intermediate devices, students, whatever we have here, this one 2, okay, then we have this one 3, 4, 5, okay. All these devices play a vital role in establishing the communication and transferring the information from one computer to another computer. It might be far away from your destination, okay. So TCP/IP is one thing. Firewalls are basically used in order to avoid some of the viruses or unwanted information trying to disturb you during your communication. So firewalls play a major role in blocking all the unwanted information which you are not supposed to access, okay. Or if any unauthorized person is trying to access your personal data, or if any virus is trying to attack your computer, then these firewalls play a major role in blocking such unwanted contents and helping you to establish a secured communication among you, okay. Modems are another means of communication. Oh, okay. So basically, whenever you are using a modem, whenever you are using internet, you use this modem, okay. What is modem? Modem stands for your modem. When I divide MOD,
modulator, demodulator.
yeah, very good. Modem, okay. It is modulator and demodulator. So when you are talking about modulator and demodulator, see here why it is required, why this modem is required. Basically, this modem, student, is required so that you can have a proper communication between the outside world. When you are using a computer, and when you are connecting your computer, okay, to an internet through your telephone system, okay, through your telephone system. Now telephone system or your modem acts as a mediator to send and receive the information from the outside world to your computer. So what does it do? You know, computer understands a language which is in a form of zeros and ones. We call it as a digital information. But when you are using a telephone wires or cables in order to establish an internet connection, these telephone wires are using analog signals. So whenever you try to establish a communication, suppose you want to access your internet, or when you are trying to access a mail, so you first make a request through a modem, and there is a server which is located, and it is trying to communicate with you. Now here what happens, your information is the computer which is able to understand is in which form? It is in your digital form. But the device outside this is understanding the information in your analog form. So there should be a conversion of your analog signal to your digital signal, or from your digital to your analog signal. So modem does it. That's what we call it as a modulation and demodulation. Whenever a digital data is coming to this modem, this digital data is converted into analog form, and whenever an analog signals are coming to this modem, it converts into a digital form, and your computer is able to understand and communicate. So this is what the modem does. That's what we call it as a modulation and demodulation. We divide this word into two parts: modulation, demodulation, which can convert the signal in either of the form. It can convert a digital signal into an analog signal, and an analog signal into a digital signal, and basically we use these modems in order to communicate with the outside world through internet. So we have various devices which are helping us to communicate with each other. Okay, so okay, so internet is considered as the largest wide area network. Okay, internet is considered as one of the largest wide area network in this world, as it connects various LANs, metropolitan area networks, through your internet service provider. Now hope you have understood. Small group of LANs, when they are connected together, we form a metropolitan area network. Group of LANs and group of MANs, when connected together, they form your wide area network. Okay, so small group of LANs, they form your metropolitan area network, and all metropolitan area networks, when they club together, we form your wide area network, and we call it as a we have this internet. Okay, so internet is considered to be the largest wide area network in this world, as it connects various LANs and MANs through your internet service provider. Okay, so the computers are connected to the wide area network through public networks such as telephone systems. You have the lease lines, or another way of connecting these computers through a wide area network is your satellite. So satellite also plays a vital role in establishing the communication across the globe where physical cabling is not possible. Okay, so the users of wide area network do not own the network. Okay, so the users of wide area network do not own the network, as it is a large setup, connecting the remote computer system. What is a remote computer? A remote computer is a computer which is situated far away from you, and you cannot access it directly. Okay, you cannot access it directly. So that such computers are called as your remote computers. Now how do you access such remote computers? We access such remote computers using this network setup, using this lease lines, using this satellites, using various public networks. Okay, we can access this remote computer system. However, they are required to subscribe to a service provider by a telecommunication provider to use this network. So unless and until you have an internet package, you have subscribed to that internet, then only you will be a part of the network. Suppose you do not subscribe, if you don't have an internet connection, then you cannot be a part of a network. Okay, you cannot be a part of the network, you cannot access to the outside world. Okay, so that is what is with respect to your wide area network. So what are the advantages of your wide area network? The advantages of wide area network are large network range. Okay, when you compare with your local area network, or when you compare with your metropolitan area network, if you see, as this wide area network is ranging with a large geographical area, so we are able to connect to many people which are located in different countries. So our network is very wide when it comes to your LAN and MAN. Then we have the centralized data. It allows your different office branch to use your head office server for retrieving and sharing the data. Okay, fine. So here we have like email servers, your file servers, and your backup servers. So if your offices are spread all over the world, okay, then there can be a centralized computer where all your emails will be stored and accessed, where all your office data can be stored and accessed, where all your backup of day-to-day activities can be stored and accessed. So storing the data at a central place becomes much more easier for accessing of all the offices. I place my data at one place, at one computer, and all my branches who wants that data, instead of individually sending them the data, I store it at one place, at a central place, and all the offices can access the data from that particular point. So this is one of the advantage that you have with your wide area network. So get updated files and data. So if any updation, any changes you do in that particular file, it is easily accessible and visible to all the people in the companies which are spread because of the distance. Okay, then you have another advantage that you have your high bandwidth. Okay, it offers high bandwidth than a normal broadband connection. Thus, it can increase the productivity of your company by offering uninterrupted data transfer and communication. So, if you have a very good bandwidth, now you know you have what is a bandwidth. A bandwidth is where the telecommunication providers give you a path to transfer the information from one computer to another computer. We have this 2G, we have this 3G, we have this 4G, we have this 5G coming into picture now. What is this? This is the high speed bandwidth that has been provided to the users so that they can establish a very good communication between the people they want to use. Okay, so that's what we have, a normal line, and then we have the lease line. There is a lot of difference because of the speed that they provide. And then the last advantage what you have is your workload distribution. It helps distribute your workload to other locations. Okay, so you need not worry how the workload will be distributed and how I need to communicate. Okay, so you store all your data at one place, and immediately the servers will ensure that all the work is distributed to all the offices. So you can hire employees in different countries and assign them to work from your office only. So you need not call them in your office and work. Now, as we know, all are doing a work from home. Okay, most of the multinational companies, they are asking their employees to sit at home and complete their work. And how the projects are getting completed, the employees of that particular organizations are connected to a centralized server through their laptops, okay, which are been provided, and they are accessing the data, they are completing their work, and they are transferring and uploading the data to the centralized computer to which they are connected. So getting the work done becomes much more easier if we have your wide area network. So some of the examples of your wide area network are internet, then we have the stock exchange network, then you have the railway reservation system, and then you have the satellite systems which are being used as an examples of your wide area network. So these are few of the different types of networks that we have discussed, students, in this particular session, where we started initially with we started here with what is a basic definition of a computer network, and we saw what are the uses of computer network, advantages what you can say, and then some of the popular computer network like your local area network, metropolitan area network, and your wide area network. And then we saw what is a local area network, what are the topologies that can be used in building a local area network. Okay, that like your ring topology, star topology, your bus topology. And then we saw some of the benefits of your local area network and the primary functions of your local area network. In today's session, we discussed about your local metropolitan area network. We saw what is the advantage of metropolitan area network. We saw what is the range that the metropolitan area is covering. Okay, and how metropolitan area network is advantageous compared to your local area network. Okay, few of the examples of your metropolitan area network and advantages of your metropolitan area network were also discussed. And later we saw what is your wide area network and how wide area network has an advantage over the other two networks that we have discussed, that is your local area network and your metropolitan area network. So this is all about different types of network students. Okay, so thank you.